Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network, for the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews. Press 1.
Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
From the Popcorn Talk Network, the online broadcast network for movie talk, and the schmoes know, this is Marvel Movie News, bringing you the most up-to-date discussion and commentary within the Marvel Universe.
Excelsior to you, our merry Marvelites. Welcome back. This is our 47th show. I don't know how many this year because I don't keep track like Matt does, but 47, which means we're coming up on that big anniversary, which I'm very excited about. We are the Marvel Movie News Show, coming to you live from the Danger Room, where we tell you all the news from all the studios and why you should be as excited as we are. So, I need you to subscribe to us on iTunes at Marvel Movie News, or find us through the Popcorn Talk Network, YouTube/Popcorn Talk Network. You can also find us through Popcorn Talk's website, PopcornTalkNetwork.com. Follow us on Twitter at Marvel News PTN, Facebook at Marvel News Show. Follow us, like us, and if you tweet the link, we will tweet it back out and get you more followers and such, because that is how 2015 works. It's very important. So, that's all the spiel Matt says.
Nicely done.
I was worried you were, like, you started turning red.
It's so many words, and
you weren't breathing, and I got real anxious.
Like, maybe he'll get there, maybe he won't.
You're professional.
Show's over, just you two. I'm just like...
you passed out.
Just all the social media stuff is overwhelming. It's like be everywhere and like it all.
And you got to be good at it.
It's a horrible thing.
That's
so
right.
I'm Coy at Coy Jandreau, whilst plugging CoyJandreau.
I am Justin Baker at Axe for Food, ACTS, the number 4, the word food, not like a lumberjack.
Would you really
like
take payment in the form of food?
I've done it before.
I've seen it happen.
I've seen it. Crafty, yes, delicious.
Nice. Yeah, Crafty's
It's
good.
the most honest of all. And then another very honest. Let's go with your honest.
Crap. Hey guys, I'm Hector. I'm at Hector is funny.
Are you funny?
I don't know.
I really enjoy you calling him out and then being ashamed of your Twitter.
I hate mine still, but I have it, and now it's too far gone.
Once you're branded,
you're
that's
locked
it.
in.
Yep,
that's life.
Oh,
I like
boy.
Matt Cook tweeted so much that I'm like, man, I want to be Coy tweeted, but I shouldn't. No. Hi, Matt. So we've got a lot of news today.
Yeah.
Giant Kevin Feige news, which we'll get to at the end of the show, so we can just rant on it.
Okay, cool.
Because that has a lot of potential ramifications.
Yes.
Yeah.
So first, we will start with the Brolin Thanos comments, which I really enjoyed because it shows his zealous love. Basically, he's talking about how much he loves being recognized as Thanos, which I really enjoy because to me, he's been around forever. The guy was in the Goonies.
Yeah.
He said...
That's what I would recognize him from.
I don't know which one I'm in. That's Kevin Feige question. I know the trajectory of what they're doing, but I don't know exactly which one I'm in. I love going into a comic book store and a guy connecting me with Thanos and seeing the incredible regressive awe that happens. Like, you see them lose 30 years and I can't believe it awe. That's fun, and I have a lot of respect for those fans. I'm excited about doing it. I really am. That's so cool.
Yeah.
He's just like a geek one of us now.
Yeah. That he goes into comic book stores is weird. I'm like, really? A guy in No Country for Old Men walks into comic book stores like, hey, I'm in Sicario. You got that new Ms. Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, what
You got Deadpool for Thanos. I got to research.
But he's got a pull list too. That's what it's got to be like.
Yeah.
He's just at Golden Apple on Wednesdays.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's such an intimidating dude.
Secret Wars is crazy, right? Isn't it nuts? Can you believe what I did in that last issue? It's great.
That's the regressive awe. It's fear.
That's the way it's got to be. It's like, oh my gosh, did you see what my character does?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And I love that he has respect for the fans.
Yeah.
And he says that he's excited to... what has he done so far? He's been in Guardians, and that's it. Right?
Well, in Guardians, it was our buddy Damien. It was Damien who's been on the show.
Oh, no, in Avengers, that was him.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Avengers was him. In Guardians, it was
in Guardians, it was him doing motion capture and the voice and stuff.
Right.
And then I think he was also at the end of Avengers Age of Ultron, that's right, where he grabbed the
he's just on little
gauntlet,
pops.
little pops.
So far, not really anything. Just teasing.
I feel like the next thing he's going to do, whether or not he knows, is going to be Guardians Volume 2.
Yeah, I think he has
And then Avengers Infinity War Parts 1 and 2. That's what he's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's all gearing up to his giant role in Infinity War. But I think this is his way of being like, maybe I'll pop up wherever. Ominous.
I could see him in Thor Ragnarok. No, he doesn't belong in that. Get out of there.
It wouldn't look in Civil War either, because they've got 82 characters.
Civil War is going to be nuts already.
Yeah.
Just including Spider-Man means we need like half an hour to just tolerate, it's just too much. And then he ended up saying, I don't have a favorite because it's me against all of them, referring to the Avengers. I think the entirety is what I'm most looking forward to. Each and every one, I'm bringing the wrath.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited, man.
I want him to kill some characters. I think
he has
what
to.
I want.
I'm surprised that.
Oh, dude, I want people to die.
Yeah.
I mean, with Thor Ragnarok, I thought he would have had to have died first. So I thought that was when they announced that title. I was like,
he didn't die yet. Well, he's gonna die in Thor Ragnarok.
Right.
I feel like, you know.
I feel like it'd be
Well,
a
then
good
I was asking, like, are we gonna do cloning? Like, is that gonna happen?
The Thor clone?
Yeah.
Who was later named
so.
Ragnarok? I don't know.
I don't see clones being it's a swear word in Marvel. Like after Spider-Man, you
little
don't
bit.
say the C word.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit.
Although it was done much better with the Thor situation.
I think it would be cool though if in a future Marvel movie it's revealed that Robert Downey Jr., like Tony Stark, did pluck a hair off of Thor just to like look at later. Like that would be cool.
Just
I
an
don't
aside,
necessarily.
yeah,
I
just
don't
a
want to see the
little- a
clone.
little- yeah,
I don't want to see a
an
Chris
egg for
Hemsworth
us.
robot like show up, but I do want Tony to be like, no, I looked at that hair. I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
Getting there. I'm sorting
there.
things.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, while we're talking about Ragnarok, they announced that it and Captain Marvel might be shooting in Australia.
Oh, very
Not
cool.
a lot of nudes.
Yeah.
Nudes. Not a lot of news.
Yeah, I
You
was
don't
gonna
know
say,
You know,
have you been
Captain
to
Marvel might be a
New
different
Zealand?
movie.
How familiar are you with the concept of
I
Ragnarok?
love Australia.
It is
but,
because
Australia
times.
is very
hot.
They're big on it.
Very
They've got
forward,
a couple of
very
beaches. It's
progressive.
very nice there.
I'm very excited for both movies to shoot in Australia.
I think that would be cool. I think that Australia could provide some cool backdrops for Asgardian stuff, and also for maybe some Kree stuff. If Captain Marvel is going to implement some of her sci-fi origins and how she gets powers from the Kree, which we already saw in Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's Ronan the Accuser, so like maybe they'll do some cool alien-looking planet stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, and I always think my first thought is always the Savage Land. I'm like, it's so gorgeous out there.
Oh yeah.
Like-
Think we're ever going to see the Savage Land in a
I
Marvel
would
movie?
love that. I don't
Who
think
has
it's going
the
to happen
rights to
soon.
that?
I think
Who
it
has
has to
the
be
rights-
X-Men, right?
I mean, would
To
that
the
be under
geography.
X-Men?
I don't know.
Because can you take like
Khazar? Like I don't know.
I think the characters in the Savage Land are owned by Fox.
Are they though?
I mean, it's
Look,
very
what the
X-Men related.
mutates? Like what? Like who's there? Like who even cares?
Sauron.
That might be
Finn.
that might, yeah.
Pterodactyl.
You know what? Sorry, yeah, the Carl Lycos might be a Fox because I think he's tied in with.
Can
like,
you
being an
license
X-Men.
locations?
That's what I'm
the
trying
question.
to figure out.
Because
That's
that would
Fox,
be
call us.
awesome.
Like, I know
Fox,
Atlantis-
Could you call my cell phone?
Atlantis
We have a
goes
question
with
for you.
Namor because it's under Universal,
Right.
and as Asgard, Thor, and Wakanda,
So,
Black
I mean,
Panther.
it might
and,
be. I mean, you might license locations. It might actually be a thing.
They might actually have the Savage Land. Son of a gun.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Darn it.
Dude,
We were so close.
What if Marvel sets us up some deal just to like get the Savage Land from Fox? Like, we'll do this. Just
we
give us
just
the
want the
location.
Fantastic
location.
Four. You
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
all of them. We just want to shoot dinosaurs, you guys.
Yeah. Oh man. Fun.
So Mark Ruffalo officially came out and said he's not in Civil War.
Boo.
We've all been theorizing it. He was on set, but he must just be visiting his bros.
I'm bummed, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Because of the explanation he put forth was like, ooh, interesting.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think Planet Hulk is.
You think that's what it is?
Oh yeah. I mean, if he's not if he's not in Civil War, like it's where are you? Like,
Yeah.
are you in hiding again at this point?
Yeah,
It
he's
seems
really
like
good at being in hiding.
but it doesn't seem like
Here's what
like,
I
Really
think.
could have been hiding.
He is
Here's where
good.
I
He's
think
good at
he
being
is.
hiding.
I think he has journeyed to Los Angeles to try to find shelter with his cousin Jennifer, and then I think we're going to see She-Hulk in the next Hulk movie or Avengers movie. That's what I think. That's where I think he went. He's keeping that Bill Bixby I'm on the run thing going, and then he shows up to L.A. and meets up with his childhood friend, his cousin, and then oh crap, she got shot by a drive-by because she's a lawyer and she needs a blood transfusion. She-Hulk.
I like your movie. I'd watch that movie.
I would watch that movie. Absolutely. But I would watch Planet Hulk more.
Planet Hulk. I just don't know if we're there yet. Like I want them to do some more Hulk stuff with
Planet
Hulk
Hulk and
on Earth
Savage,
before we get that. We get up there.
That would be our kind of way to have like the Savage Land, like we were just talking about. That's like as close
be.
as we might get in that world. And the Secret Wars tie is incredible. Planet Hulk there is amazing.
Oh yeah.
With Cap riding a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Read it.
Yeah.
So moving on to Fox. This is basically just me getting to say Deadpool. There's no Deadpool news, but I wanted to say the words Deadpool while I was hosting. The Deadpool game is getting re-released on next-gen consoles.
Cool.
I just wanted to let you know.
Great.
I'm excited. Somebody buy it. Let's keep...
yeah,
I mean, it's in
groovy.
time for the thing to get the hype up and
Yeah,
we're
that's
getting
true.
there.
Hasn't that game already come out?
It has?
Yeah.
Okay,
So they're re-releasing it
Yeah,
on
gotcha.
next gen. Yeah.
Because the movie's coming out. Smart.
Right. I mean, it's a great move to bring
Yeah.
awareness to the character. And
I heard the game was awesome. I haven't played it yet.
I hear it's like the
I have
best
not played
representation.
it either.
Yeah.
But now it's being re-released on next gen. I think this is the year I go next gen. So
Black Friday's around the corner.
I get a little bit iffy sometimes with. I love a lot of modern games. I think I'm more of a retro gamer.
I'm a retro
but I get
gamer.
a little
Yeah.
iffy when the comic book world crosses over. Because the gamers and gaming world is like, oh, this game's awesome. This is so representative of the character or whatever. This is so great, comic booky. And then I'll play it and I'll be like, it's more
Not quite
gamey than
mine.
comic. You know what I mean? Like, especially like the Batman series is freaking phenomenal.
Right.
But
Oh,
by
yeah.
the third one, it was more of a video gamey, like really like over the top than it was like felt like I was being Bruce Wayne. Does
Yeah,
that
I
make
agree with
sense?
that.
Like it's kind of its own separate thing.
The last game I actually played was a comic game. It was Ultimate Spider-Man on PS2. It was the last
Oh
game I
my
beat.
God.
That's how long I haven't
my
gamed.
God.
I just,
That was an awesome game.
I
That
walked
game was
away.
written
I was
by
like,
Michael
this is where,
Bendis.
That was-
that felt like a comic. That was
It
like,
really did.
and it looked
Oh,
like
yeah.
a comic. It was
It
authentic
really
all
did.
around.
Yeah,
so
that
that
was a
was
good game.
I walked away at a good moment. I was like,
Yeah.
you know what?
Holy,
I don't know if I can top
holy
that.
moly!
wow, it's been a minute.
I don't know
my
if you
friend.
can top that.
I mean, it's hard to have time to game and do everything else in LA. Like it's a,
Yes.
it's a commitment.
really is.
Gamers is a
No,
life
I
choice.
spend a lot of time.
It is.
It's a life choice.
I have
Yeah.
a gamer tattoo because
Maybe I'll come back for
What's your
Deadpool.
tattoo?
it's right here. It's a Triforce.
Oh, that's sick. That's
And
so
I've
cool.
just
Life
got
choice.
the courage one marked in because I don't
Hey.
consider myself wise or strong. so-
Congratulations, man. You will someday.
Someday.
And you
I
can
will
fill
be
those
wise
in then.
and strong
You
someday.
can get
Yeah,
as you earn those
exactly.
badges like a
I
Boy
can't
Scout.
wait for the moment where Justin does something. He's gonna be like, I'm strong now.
man, I gotta get power.
I gotta get the
I gotta get this tattoo
get this
now.
filled in. I just and then
Goes to
later
Hollywood
he's
Boulevard.
Like I
Like, what have I
saved
done?
somebody in like a burning building or something
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
and like as I leave, the cops are like, "Can we talk to him?" Like, I don't have time. I have this is gonna get filled in
strength right
immediately.
now. And then later you talk to somebody who's like down on their luck, and you're like, hey, and you blah, 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 and you're like, oh my god, I have this. I gotta
so
go fill
smart.
this in.
Why did I
You
think
get
that?
your first gray patch, and you're like, well,
Yeah.
we're here now.
That's awesome. That's
We're here
great.
now, buddy.
Triforce is classic.
I dig
That's
it.
classic.
So maybe I'll come back for
That's
Deadpool because I hear it's a great game.
Okay, cool.
So while we're on Fox, Oscar Isaac had this to say about his role in Apocalypse. I was also a big fan of X-Men, particularly the villain Apocalypse. So when those parts came around and there was interest for me to do them, I was excited about it. I was excited to explore those worlds. There's something more mythical. Basically, you're playing a god. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
Every time he talks about this character, I get more
Right
excited.
on. Right on.
Like he's
Yeah.
got a feel for it. I love that he's a fan, like we were just saying. Like I
Great.
love that he's in it,
great.
and I love the idea that he has the god complex built into the character.
He has a great
Wow,
take on the
yeah.
character. Super fan. The only thing I need right now is just some footage to be released officially, because the only thing that people think of Apocalypse right now is Ivan Ooze because of that purple picture. And I'm like, I need Fox to fix that.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
they
I
can.
know.
Just send out some footage. Let me see
That
Oscar
photo
act
is
it
so
out.
not good.
I'm like lighting. I don't know, but that's all I'm missing.
That's
and
fair.
other than that, like I'm so stoked about him playing this character.
I'd like him to be gray, even an image of him gray with blue lips, and I'd be sold. But as far as him as an actor, the way he
Yeah,
feels
yeah,
about the character is spot on.
Yeah.
So I'm digging it. While also on Fox, Hugh Jackman did the most adorable thing this week.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen it. We have a snapshot, but if you have time, you're on the internet right now. You should look this up.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman surprised a kid through the Make-A-Wish Foundation who is a huge Wolverine fan, and it was the most adorable, endearing. I mean, Hugh Jackman's just the greatest guy. I'm gonna miss
great.
him so much as Wolverine, just because
Yeah.
of the heart.
Yeah.
Like he's just such a swell fella.
I didn't notice this before, but look, the kid has little Wolverine claws on the table.
Yeah.
He's a fan.
And like I watched the video, and like he talks about his favorite thing about Wolverine. One of the things is that he has healing powers.
Yeah. Oh.
And like
Broke my heart, dude. It was
like,
so rough.
That stabbed me right through the heart. I was like, oh, that's
amazing.
beautiful.
That's
and like
great.
that's a great. I mean, I get it. That you relate to that as
It's
that
the same.
kid.
It's the same as Batkid. It's the same as how Batkid
Yeah.
related to Batman because he didn't have any superpowers, but he still endured. And
Yes.
here's a guy, Wolverine. That's what I love about Wolverine. He doesn't get killed by bullets, but he's not bulletproof. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Everything hurts every
And
time
he
he
has to
does
deal-
it.
feels every single thing.
Feels it every time.
And
Does
he
it
just
hurt when the
deals
claws
with
come
it.
out? Every single time. He just it's so great.
Dude, when like
Yeah.
like some of my favorites are like when Magneto pulls the adamantium out of him, or whenever him and Hulk, Wolverine versus Hulk, when he like
great.
opens with him climbing up the mountain, missing half of his
Lower half.
body.
It's fantastic. I still remember Hugh Jackman. It's going to be weird when he's not Wolverine.
It really will.
And it's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be weird when they recast the character. Like, I don't know how that. I've talked about this before. I don't know what Fox is planning after X-Men Apocalypse. If they're just going to do another X-Men sequel set in the 90s that's still a prequel to the first X-Men film with the younger Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Storm.
See, I feel like this is already the reboot. I feel like they're not going to have the older characters in this movie so that
they do. Oh, what do you mean?
I feel like they're weaning us. Sorry,
Yes.
they're involved, but they're less and less involved each time. I feel like they're weaning us away
Gotcha.
from the 2000s cast, and they're going.
Oh, for sure.
So they can set up the 90s and have that be the universe. Like we have Cyclops, we have a new Jean Grey. I mean, they've already done it. They've just been they've paced us.
Yeah.
So I think that's the end of them. I mean, I don't think we're going to see it anymore, which is going to be rough. It's going to be weird.
It's going to be weird. I still remember the first time I saw Hugh Jackman in an interview doing press for the first X-Men. Back in 2000, I was, 13, 14 years old, and he was on the Regis and Kathy Lee Gifford show. If you remember that. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Why are you watching
I
that?
love Regis.
Because I knew this guy who was playing Wolverine, my
Right.
guy, was going to be on it. And this was one of the first appearances he did on American television. And he came around the corner when the announcement, Hugh Jackman came around the corner, and he had an inflatable Wolverine toy that he popped out first, and he moved its claws a little bit and came around, and he was so happy.
Oh,
and I
man.
immediately was like, this guy's good. Like,
Yeah.
this guy, I love this guy. And sure enough, he was charming as hell in the interview. And since then, he's been like the standard for like an actor that loves the role.
Right. The bar is set
in like the
Hugh Jackman.
superhero. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I can't even.
And his and The Rock's Instagram presence, like both of
best.
them are just like the
best.
sweetest guys. And I'm always like, I gotta go to the gym. Hugh Jackman's working out right
He's
now.
also a guy like Robert Downey Jr. is perfect casting to Tony Stark.
Absolutely.
I don't know if Hugh Jackman is perfect casting to
I don't
Logan.
think he is.
He's not. But
Oh
he's
no!
so good.
He's
not
great at the
5'3".
role,
But he's
like,
a 6'3"
like if I
Australian,
was
not hairy
stuck
guy.
in a bar with two guys,
Yeah.
I would obviously pick Hugh Jackman over Wolverine.
Exactly, but
because he's
so-
a nice guy, and
Yeah.
like Wolverine's got the heart, but it's like underneath all of just anger and
Yeah,
like
dude.
life.
He just wants to
but
drink beer
He
and, like-
shares it. Like he's like,
I
hey,
know.
I've always
here, I
said,
smile.
like
I'm happy.
Logan's way more Mel Gibson to me. Like I've always said, old man
Oh,
Logan,
yeah.
Mel Gibson.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got that grizzled out. I don't know about Mel Gibson's heart. I love him as an actor. I don't know his heart, but maybe Hugh Jackman's heart and Mel Gibson. That would be Wolverine, like buried deep down.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
But
he's
he's-
just such a he sings, he dances. Wolverine does not sing and dance.
No.
No.
Not unless he's being mind
No,
control.
Bob.
But
Yeah,
but
mind
he's just
control.
like so damn lovable that
Yeah.
no one's like, oh, he sucks. No, he's great.
No one
Yeah.
hates Hugh Jackman.
I know.
Even if you don't like him as Logan, it's
I know.
Hugh Jackman.
It's true.
Like
And
I saw Les Mis 3 times in theaters because I was just like, "You're the greatest
Yeah.
man. Please tell me how to be a better human."
Yeah.
So this was amazing. Everyone should
Yeah.
watch it. It was really cute. I mean, it's not really Marvel movie news related, but please watch it. Humanity's better for it.
Oh, I'm gonna miss him.
And on to more Wolverine news. Live Schreiber went on, I think it was Kimmel or Fallon. It was one of the late night shows. Sorry for not knowing. And he said, well, I heard it was, I don't know if I'm invited in reference to Wolverine 3,
Yeah.
but I heard that the storyline is Old Man Logan. And when I heard that, I thought, well, you know, there's Old Man Logan. There could be Old Man Sabretooth. Now,
Alright, it could be.
Yeah,
Old
well,
Man Logan-
like we were talking about, like
every
earlier.
character's owned by someone else.
Yes, like you
Yeah.
can't make that movie unless
Oh, I
it's
know.
like a starting point. It's like,
know.
okay, well, here's the idea. We've got an old Logan.
I know.
Now let's make a movie.
We're in
like
the
that's
West.
about as close as we can get to that.
Right.
So yes, you could. I guess you could have
Sure.
an old man Sabretooth.
Sure.
But with the success of Mad Max, I could see an Old Man Logan movie set in that reality. Like the Old West, insane,
real
post-apocalypse. That's
yeah,
what
I
I'd
could
do.
see that. That'd be fun.
And then you could have Old Man Sabretooth because you have the opportunity to bring in characters that aren't in the comic. I mean, they've never played by the comics rules, so why not
Sure.
make a post-apocalyptic Wolverine movie?
I think it's going to happen, and I'm so excited it is because my whole thing was like, I thought again they could never make that movie, and I
Yeah.
thought years and years from now when Jeremy Renner's old and Marvel Studios is in Phase 9,
Yeah.
and like Jeremy Renner's an old
bring him
guy,
out of retirement.
like they'll just get Hugh Jackman to play James Howlett if they don't have the rights to Wolverine back yet, or just you know what I mean, or just
Yeah.
like they will
Yeah.
just get the rights. Like by that time in the future, Marvel Studios and Fox will have come to a deal, or somebody will get the rights back, or some
Yeah.
bullcrap will have happened where they'll just bring these guys back and they're old actors and they're like, we're gonna make Old Man Logan.
It's time now.
It's time. Like that's the only way I could see it happening because to me, Hawkeye is such
It's
a pivotal.
integral.
It's
Oh, yeah.
integral to
Yeah,
that story.
Absolutely.
And the Hulks are the villains. Like,
know.
there's a lot of stuff
I
that
know,
just
and
can't happen.
Spider-Girl and
the
Luke Cage
Spider-Mobile is the way they get
I know,
around.
and the Mole Man, and then there's like a T-Rex with the Venom symbiote.
That
There's
comic
many-
is so like a cartoon.
bananas.
The comic's
It's
a
so
cartoon,
great.
but in a gritty
It's-
universe.
it's
like
so
the comic's
great,
like we're
because it's like-
wonky, but
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
it's almost like somebody who's on drugs, but typically those are like bright, shiny things that people do with that kind of stuff, and it's like, nah, we're gonna set
we're
it.
gonna
in
go
this.
the other way entirely.
Yeah.
But I think it's perfect for Hugh Jackman's last Wolverine movie, and
I
I,
agree.
think it is going to be a post-future, post-apocalyptic. Like we saw glimpses of it with Days of Future Past. You know,
Yeah.
why not just
Yeah.
now say because they've changed the past in their X-Men movie timeline when they prevented Mystique from shooting the president or whatever, or Bolivar Trask, that now instead of the future being Days of Future Past, the further future is Old Man Logan.
Right.
Yes.
Like they could easily do that.
Oh yeah, you could absolutely
So-
make that reality what could have
Who
happened.
would you guys have as the character who's like his Hawkeye of the X-Men movies so far? Would you bring back Cyclops and have him be blind? would you?
I'd enjoy
like,
the irony of that.
That would be
Right?
cool. Yeah.
And I'd love
Right?
James Marsden to get the chance to actually play
that's what I'm
Cyclops.
saying.
I'd love James
That's what,
Marsden
like,
to get a
both
credible
these guys
Cyclops.
get a last,
Yeah.
their last little,
a little hurrah.
Yeah, I'd love that because I think James Marsden's a great Cyclops that's never been written.
I know.
Like he's just been in the background. Like,
really good.
trust me, I'd be great. Let me
Yeah.
speak.
Oh, hey, Gene. Poof. Guys, I had no line. Oh, I'm poofing in this one?
X-Men 1, X-Men 1. Please, let me talk to Jean. I love her. X-Men 2. I get this one cool fight scene. I got a weird Matrix jacket. X-Men 3. I did.
Yeah.
Well, it's the leader of the
so
X-Men.
sad.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like,
Oh my god.
but hey, we broke Old Man Logan's story. Like that was here. So if this ends up being Old Man Logan, I'd be very happy because it'd be a little piece of us.
we just broke it. We were just like, hey, get
we just broke the
Cyclops.
news right here.
We just did.
There you
We
go.
just did.
Yeah, we
You're
just wrote your
welcome.
movie for you. Have at it, Fox. Do we get credits for that? Do we get writing credits?
Oh yeah, totally.
I'd settle for a
I'll
ticket.
take 1% I'll take 1% on the back end.
1%. Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You'll take food, is what you'll take.
That's true.
You'll take
Yes.
food for payment.
I'll take Crafty
Justin,
for.
yeah, take Crafty. I'll have a movie ticket, please.
So Stan Lee came out and said that Fantastic... I love Stan Lee so much. Basically, Stan Lee came out and publicly said Fantastic Four failed because, quote, well, it was probably because I didn't have a cameo in it and they didn't discuss the story with me, end quote. I love that, man.
So good.
I love the idea that the Stan Lee cameo is the stamp of whether or not a movie will be good.
Yep. To Stan Lee it is. It's great. It's so funny. Because in this instance, he might be right.
In this
Like,
instance...
every other time he's jokingly said that, like, oh, this movie didn't make as much money because Stan wasn't in it or whatever. Like, or I forget. He's even talked about how he wants cameos in like the DC Comics movie. Like, he's so stupid and funny. I love him.
What I love about Stan Lee is that like, if you've got like memorabilia signed by Stan Lee,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean anything
know,
because
doesn't.
he will sign
He is
everything.
everywhere just
if
signing,
you walk
yeah.
up with your baby to Stan Lee and you're like, here you go, he'll have a Sharpie and just
be
right
ready,
on the
man.
head.
I love that he's accepted that reality. Like, he's
Yeah.
just such Stan Lee all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it's great.
I think, though, if you break this down to like a symbolic level, there was no Stan Lee in that movie, and that is why it failed.
That's
you know what
true.
I'm saying? There was no Jack Kirby.
No,
There
it
was
was
no-
not. There was no Fantastic Four
There's
in
no
the movie I
Fantastic
saw,
Four in the movie.
and therefore no Stan Lee could be an option.
It's real sad, but, you know, Stan Lee's right.
Yeah, I mean, in
that's
this
what-
case,
maybe that's
Maybe
what he
that's
meant.
yeah, exactly. Like he's actually a lot deeper than.
let's
we
give him
credit
all the
for.
benefit of the doubt
Yeah.
because he's Stan the Man Lee.
Yes.
Thanks for existing, Stan.
Thank you,
He's
Stan.
not a 93-year-old senile man.
If you're watching
Stan
this
the
right
Man
now,
Lee.
Stan, we
Yeah.
love you.
We do,
and
so much.
We appreciate everything you have to say.
Get back to work. What are you doing watching this? Get back to work, Stan. You gotta make
Yeah,
more
right.
superheroes.
Please, we need them.
That Key and Peele sketch with Stan Lee.
I haven't seen that one. You know which one I just asked? It was Gremlins 2 was the best.
Gremlins 2 is great. You have to
It
go
was amazing.
go to the Key and Peele, and it's Stan Lee comes into a writer's room,
think I
and he's
saw
coming
from
up
a
with
few
new,
seasons ago, right?
new
Yeah.
characters,
Yeah.
and they're all like really bad characters,
Yeah.
and the writers are like, "Oh, we just brought you in to say
Yeah.
hi," and then at the end he's like, "I've got one last character," and it's like, "This guy fires writers,"
Yeah.
basically, and they're like, "We love it. It's great."
I've seen that. It's
those
so
guys
funny.
are great, man.
It's so funny.
Moving over to Sony. We haven't had much Spider-Man news in a bit, but John Watts came out and said the reason he thinks Holland is going to be such a great Spider-Man is, quote, it feels like he's the right age, he has the right level of enthusiasm and a little bit of confidence, but a lot of insecurity mixed into that. On top of nailing the character, he can also do a standing backflip.
This is the director of the
This is the
upcoming
director,
solo
yes.
Spider-Man film? Okay, cool.
This is the guy
Yep.
that's going to take the reins.
Yep.
And
And yeah,
there's
we
some
did
image
watch
pictures.
those was it Vine clips
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
right
Instagram,
he like
Vine, yeah.
3 or 4 of those.
You're very impressive, Tom. Okay, we
Yeah.
get it. You're very
Yeah.
cool.
Keep being awesome. You're a really talented
I
actor.
could do that too if I
You have
was.
a cool life. He's traveling the
you
world.
know.
No, he's awesome on Instagram. It's great.
Yeah.
You've only been in amazing films.
Yeah.
You've done it for like 5 years and been like 10 for 10. Yeah, it's incredible. And John Watts, I saw Cop Car.
Oh, nice.
It is incredible. It's like a Coen Brothers movie, but like with lightness that it's like a combination of their drama and their comedy in one movie, and you wouldn't expect that from a first-time director or a second-time
Yeah, the
director.
trailer
Sure.
scared like scary Kevin Bacon scares me.
Yeah, man, he was
yeah.
intense. And there's 2 kids in it that are the leads, and it shows how well he directs children.
Yeah.
Good.
So I get why Marvel was so enthusiastic. It's a really bold move, but considering Marvel Sony are like, this guy.
I know.
But I love that that's his perspective on Spider-Man because we haven't seen that. I mean, Tobey Maguire was insecure, but it was a different kind of insecurity for me. So I'm really excited to see this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been talking about this. I feel like if people are not sold on doing Spider-Man again because of fatigue, I feel like I get that, but it's also probably because those people haven't read a lot of Spider-Man comics.
Yeah.
Or seen like the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon show from a few years ago, where I feel like those are like really good representations. They're only coming off of the movies. And before, the Sony films had to hit everything. They had
Right.
to be superhero because that was all Sony had.
Yes.
It's all Sony had. So those superhero movies with Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield had to appeal to everyone. Now,
Right.
Marvel doesn't even need Spider-Man,
No.
which is bananas. It's gotten to a point where Marvel
Right?
Studios doesn't need doesn't need
one of their flagship characters.
flagship guy.
Because
Yeah.
all of their B-list are like
Are now
A-list.
A-list.
All their
Exactly.
C-list are
Yeah.
B-list. And their
because of that,
TV is like...
because of the variety of the types of movies they put out, they don't need a movie that appeals to everyone like they have that in other movies. So now they can really do a coming of age, they've said John Hughes style teen movie. And people that are like, oh, again, he's going to be a teen that doesn't... Why would they put that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? So dumb. I'm like, no, this is brilliant. Because a 16-year-old Peter Parker standing next to the 30-something Chris Evans Cap, that's what is the comic books. That's what we want to see.
And we haven't seen anything close to that yet.
Nothing.
Because
Yes, and I am excited about him being a kid in like the Avengers world.
Yep.
Like that's the thing that like still keeps me going because I do want to see an older like Peter Parker.
Sure.
I like him when he's a teacher and he's helping
when
the
he's
kids
married,
with
he's my
science.
favorite.
And,
It's my favorite.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
And so hopefully at some point we get there, but putting him against Robert Downey Jr. and stuff like this, I think this is going to be really cool to see.
It's going to be something where... No, go ahead. You're
if he was
something.
a peer, it'd be harder to introduce him. If he was like, hey, we're all 30-year-old dudes, where have you been, bro? Like, that
Right.
wouldn't work. In the
Yes.
Marvel Universe they set up now, with the Avengers they have now, I've been pushing for Jake Gyllenhaal Spider-Man since the beginning. I think an adult Spider-Man teaching would be the best version of the comic I perceive, but as far as the MCU, I think the best way to introduce him and to have a Boyhood with Spider-Man in it, which is exciting, is this. I'd love to look back and have like 8 years of Harry Potter with Spider-Man.
It's going to be tough. Again, if you have a 30-something, a Jake Gyllenhaal style character, it's going to be tough to have him next to all these other superheroes and still try to sell him as like he's the underdog.
Right.
Oh, his life is so tough. It's like, whoa. But if
I
you
saw
have a
Southpaw.
skinny 16-year-old kid, you're like, he's the underdog. Like, what's he doing in Civil War? He's going to get his ass kicked. Whoa, he's fighting Cap. Whoa, this like he's the underdog.
And you care about him being young. Instead, it's not a ploy in that situation, which is a great way to introduce him into that world without a solo film. I think it's really smart. I'm finally sold.
Yeah.
I mean, in Civil War, he was older.
Sure.
And it was like...
He's 28 years old.
Yeah, it was cool to
there's that
see
history.
that.
There's that history.
And the Tony Stark bro science thing.
Yeah. But that's fine. I'll take what I can get at this point.
We have, by the way, heard the rumors of the web shooters. I was going to bring that up this week, but I refuse to accept it.
Wait,
Okay.
what
I think
rumors?
it'd be... They're saying that Tony Stark either invents or produces the web shooters.
Oh, no.
That's the rumor.
Sorry, man.
Oh, no.
I'm glad we're all equally upset. I didn't even want to talk about it.
Oh,
dumb.
that is very, very stupid.
Look, it's
And
one
I-
thing
Hey,
if
this
you're gonna
genius
have...
science
if you want to
guy.
give him the Iron Suit, like I can totally.
If you want to give him the suit,
that's fine.
like
better.
fine.
Yes.
Better.
But he is...
Don't even tell me.
Tony
Like, that's
invents-
the point. Like
Tony
that's
Stark,
what makes him
he
who we.
he already
That's
took-
why I was so mad at the first movies because they were
Organic web
organic,
shooters.
and I was like, no,
No, that was fine. That's okay.
No, don't you dare.
I'm
Are we
serious.
gonna
That's
get into
okay.
this?
We can get
No.
into it. Let me tell you why that's okay. Because
Hector
that was
is
a
not
shortcut.
funny.
Because Justin, that was a shortcut. And for me, the more important thing when that first movie came out in 2002, when there was no superhero movies, this was a pre-Iron Man world. Remember that? Pre-Iron
Yes,
Man.
I get it.
It's a tough sell as it is. The easiest shortcut is just like, look,
But
he's
it's not
Spider-Man,
that
he's
tough.
Spider-Man.
It's not that tough to be like, oh,
I
he's
think it
also
is.
smart and he created something that
You know
shoots
what?
web.
Why I
Then
think
it
it's
was,
tough?
now it's not.
Let me tell you why I think it's tough. Because in that world, again, he's the only human being in the history of humanity that's got superpowers. And on top of that, he's also the only guy to develop like military-grade, industrial strength webbing.
He's also
that
in
he
high
can-
school.
Like
in that
I'm
first
already
film.
like bullshit. Like too many things are bullshit. Then
And
you
you get
get
Sam
to
Raimi's
it is,
tone.
because let me tell you what happened when we get to Spider-Man 3 and Tobey Maguire's sitting in the park with Mary Jane. He's like, I'm going to propose to her. He's again the only human that's ever gotten superpowers, and then all of a sudden, meteor, the only alien that's ever landed on Earth, and it also
next to
envelops
him.
him.
Hey.
But like it's too much.
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
too much.
You're right.
Sandman
And I
killed
wish,
him.
I wish
That
they
was
had
true.
gone. I wish they had gone Ultimate Spider-Man.
Exactly, where it's a cancer
Like
cure.
that would have been cool.
That's
And you
what-
totally could have
thank you.
done that.
Perfect.
And the way,
It's
and the
perfect.
fact that they like cast like Topher in that role, like it felt Ultimate
Yeah,
Spider-Man. So I don't know
They
why
cast
they didn't
Ultimate
just.
Eddie Brock and then
Yeah.
did
Yeah,
616
and then-
Venom.
I know.
How do you?
Why would you do that?
With no Secret Wars, with no reason for him to get a suit from
Yeah.
space. So sure, that was then. Now it's post Iron Man. It's post 2008. We've seen characters build something and we bought it. So
Right.
when it was 2012 and he built the web shooters, fine.
Oh, somebody said it's fake.
I mean, I've heard both sides.
Good.
I've heard it's fake.
It's been proven
but
that it's
Better
fake.
be.
I got
don't lie to me,
tweeted-
hippopotamus.
Don't lie, hippopotamus.
he's
Your
not
lyrics
gonna
are
lie.
bottomless.
Enough people tweeted at me. I felt like it was worth
Good.
saying, and
Okay.
we're all very upset. So hopefully it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
While we're on Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield, who I will personally miss as Spider-Man, not the writing, but the man.
The performance.
I thought he was a great Spider-Man.
So good.
He came out and said, quote, "I've been petitioning to hook up with Marvel since the beginning, so I'm really glad they're finally doing it. I was actually starting to workshop ideas with Alec Kurtzman, who was going to be writing it. We thought to kind of start from the base level, the foundation level of where we left off Peter, and where do we want to see him go, and what's logical. So how do we build upon where we left off with this deep, desperate moment with Gwen? So yeah, we got some pretty heavy places, and I was really excited to kind of explore it and be involved in the ground level like that. But anyway, it wasn't meant to be. As I say, I'm just really excited that I get to watch."
That's cool.
so bummed for that
that's a nice
There's such
thing.
sad
Yeah.
enthusiasm in that.
And he says he answers like in a very like nice and courteous way when people ask him about it. They're gonna ask him in press stuff from now to the end of his life.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know
Forever.
what? The way it went down, I kind of maybe don't want to talk about it in a public setting, but I will say that I'm really excited to see the new movie.
And
you
he said that he
hear
likes Tom
and you're
Holland
like,
and
oh,
like...
it's
Yeah,
heartbreaking.
I mean, it's rough for that guy because he was such a great Spider-Man.
He put everything
and
into it.
It was like,
And he loved
you
Spider-Man.
deserved, and like the fact that it was just like, boom, nope, you're
Yeah,
gone. And I was like, but he didn't do anything wrong.
I know.
He did nothing
Yeah,
wrong.
he's the kid that got punished for the class.
Yeah.
Like, everyone else cheated, but he actually did well, and they were like, sorry.
Everybody gets a 0.
Yeah, like, he's the kid that got a 0 for putting his heart in it. Because that Comic-Con footage, I still go, that's Spider-man. Like, him
Yeah,
in that
man.
makeshift suit. That's...
Yeah, man.
He
I was
also
there.
said,
I
you
was
were in
there.
the room?
I was in the room, and I almost cried. And then, like a month later, this was in 2011. A month later, I was in Los Angeles. I was living in San Diego at the time. That's where I'm from. So that's why I went to Comic-Con
nice.
and was
So,
in Hall H.
your backyard.
It's my backyard. So a month later, I was in LA watching a UCB show, and in line on Franklin was Andrew Garfield, just a couple people behind me. And he was there with somebody who had a beanie on. And I turned to my friends. I was like, I have to go up and say something to him.
Yes.
They're like, don't do that. Don't bother a celebrity. And I went, you
No,
don't
you can
understand.
just
Like,
compliment him.
I said, I've already thought of what I would say to him is how much I loved his panel. I was there at Comic-Con. Like, I deserve this. Like, shut up. And so
me.
I told, like,
It's
my
the universe
friends,
giving me something.
right. My
so
friends,
back off.
my friends made me like tell him, okay, what are you going to tell him? And then I pitched it to him, and I said, I just want to tell Andrew Garfield that he should have gotten more love from the crowd for that speech that he made, because it was so moving and so beautiful about how Spider-Man was important to him as a kid growing up. And then he went and did the panel, and there was a Q&A, and all the questions were stupid, like, do you do your own stunts? Like, nobody said
Nobody
anything
said
about
the heart.
the thing. And so that's all I wanted to say to him. And then they're like, yeah, you should go say that. So I walked around and I walked up to him, and I was like, I'm really sorry to bug you. Hey. And he goes, yeah, what's up, mate? And the person he was with was some woman, and she, as I was walking up, she went like this. Like, she was annoyed that it's like a person. But as soon as I started talking, I'm like, hey man, like, I was at Comic-Con in the room with you like a month ago for your first panel, and I just want to say, like, and this is at the time I had him in the Spider-Man outfit on my phone as a screensaver. Like, this is how excited I am for the Amazing Spider-Man. And I told him, like, I just want to tell you should have gotten more love from the crowd for the speech. And he's like, oh, thank you so much, mate. It really means a lot to me. What's your name? Oh, Hector. Oh, great. And as I was talking, the woman, I could kind of like see her face from the corner of my eye. She went like I won her over with like my genuine.
You saw the transition
I
of
saw
like,
it. At first she was like,
oh,
this,
you're not a
and
crazy creep.
Yeah, I was like,
You're
I was
actual-
like, just want to say
yeah.
that I'm so stoked. I'm so happy that for your success and that like you get to play this character. He means so much to me too.
Yeah.
And
That's the
and have a
perfect
good
fan.
night.
That's
And
the
then-
perfect way. That's amazing.
Because I didn't know this about you, Hector, but I did know this about Coy because we've
Yeah.
had many
Late night
Spider-Man is my guy.
Yeah, he's my guy.
So to know that there are 3 Spider-Man
Deep
fans here,
Spider-Man
we could
fans.
literally just talk about Spider-Man for
The whole show.
entire show.
I only became a Deadpool guy
exciting.
because I'm not that big on Dan Slott's Spider-Man. No disrespect to Dan Slott, but Deadpool only would like is my Spider-Man. I'm like
Yeah.
waiting for Spider-Man to come back. The Spider-Man
Yeah.
I know hasn't been around in a while.
You know who my Spider-Man is, because he hasn't been around in a while, is Miles Morales. Is
Oh,
my
dude,
Spider-Man.
Bendis'
really?
Spider-Man. I'm more
It's
excited
interesting.
for
Yeah.
Bendis'
Straczynski.
Miles run.
Straczynski is my
That's mine.
Spider-Man.
And I went and
like-
got all 5 of his trades.
Yeah.
His
Dude,
whole run.
So
and
I stopped
just reread
collecting
those.
for a while, and then I was in London. I think it was like 2001.
No, bragging.
And yeah, I know, it was awesome. I was in
Great.
another country.
Yeah.
And I went into a comic book shop, and there was issue number 30, and
Yeah.
Ramada Jr. and Straczynski, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this looks interesting. I'll buy this. And the first
it's
I read
amazing.
that, and I was just hooked. The whole Ezekiel storyline, and
great.
so good.
That's also the run. Listen, man, you said 2001. The 9/11 issue is still
Oh, yeah,
the
I have that.
John
greatest
Romita
comic
Jr.
books.
art
I have that.
on
And it's
Spider-Man with
the most-
Straczynski.
It's perfect.
Just the villains and the heroes coming together. Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm getting emotional.
great.
We'll do a Spider-Man show one day, guys,
Yes.
because I truly want to dive in. People ask me comics all the time, and I'm always
Yeah.
just like Spider-Man, Deadpool. Like I don't have
Yeah.
much. Like there's just
Yeah.
so much heart in Spider-Man, and Ditko like.
Yeah.
I can't. It's
Yeah.
Spider-Man. I'm hoping that this Spider-Man is the one that they've been trying to make for years, and moving on to Netflix. Luke Cage is... I love this so much. Luke Cage is shooting under the alias Tiara. That's perfect.
Yeah, that's funny.
I had any doubts whatsoever, they're gone because of that one
Yeah,
little fact.
exactly.
Like, that is amazing.
Exactly.
And at this point, I have
no
you
doubts.
with Daredevil. I'm like,
Yeah.
you took a television show and just destroyed all doubts of anything. I'm like,
Yeah.
I trust in you. You have take my money, please.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm on board for all of it.
It would be
even
cool
characters
if-
I don't even care about. I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
I don't even know
Make
that
me
character,
love
but
this
I'll
character.
watch it because
Yeah.
I'll love them after the end of this season.
Yeah, like Jessica Jones is going to wreck people. It's
Yeah.
going
Oh, yeah.
to it's just wreck people. Yeah, it's great.
So, Meredith's not here, but she's so excited.
Misty Knight.
Misty Knight
Yeah.
is officially in Luke Cage, and it's by a total unknown.
Yeah, I was looking up her IMDb, Simone Missick.
Nice.
And yeah, she doesn't have a lot of things, which is it's awesome. Congratulations to her, and good luck with this. Where we go
great.
from here.
It's gonna be great. Yeah, Misty Knight's an awesome character. That picture, by the way, is so boobity. It's like it's like the bustiest, but like every time I see that,
It's the only one with Mike Coulter, so I was
on.
like, do I
It's-
have
okay,
to use
fine,
this one?
fine.
I wasn't happy about
But
it.
every time I see something like that, I'm like, oh, boy, it's gonna make it real hard to pitch comic books to women that don't read comic books. Like that's the. I'm like,
I
oh,
love the
great.
character.
That's got
It's
like
awesome. Love the character.
it's like the time, like the 70s, like
The-
blaxploitation
Sure, for
type,
sure.
Every photo
Also-
I found was either giant afro
and
that was a
it's-
cartoon or boobs or both.
It's a little like manga video game inspired, but it's ridiculous.
Right.
But
Oh, absolutely.
Love Misty Knight. Love her robot arm.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see her in the show.
And it's a bigger superhero element than I expected from Luke Cage. Like the
Yeah.
arm and everything makes it like, oh, by the way, we're still a Marvel show. Like
I don't
I'm
think
really
she's going to
excited.
have a robot arm in the show. I
think she might.
You know what we might get is something where like she loses her arm.
Yeah, that's what I was
and
thinking.
maybe in season
She'll
2
get
get
it
it
later.
once
Luke Cage,
Yeah.
because she got the arm from Tony Stark.
Right.
So like maybe once Luke Cage interacts with other characters, maybe in Avengers Infinity War parts 1 and 2.
Maybe she'll have it in Iron Fist because obviously they're gonna.
Maybe she could get
She's
an
got to
Iron
be in
Fist.
Iron Fist because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the love interest. So maybe
Oh,
she'll
yeah.
lose it in Luke Cage and get
and
it.
then get it in Iron
Yeah.
Fist. Sure.
Because that's like 2 years.
And
right?
I'm really looking forward to after these Netflix shows like have a season or two, and with the movies doing everything, I want to see some crossover, like
for
some more
sure.
crossover.
Oh,
like
for sure,
that's going to be really
when
cool.
we get to the Kevin Feige stuff, I think that is less likely to happen now because of the stuff we'll talk about later. So
Really? I think
get
it could be
there.
more likely
I
to happen.
think well, Ike
That's
is running
interesting.
TV still.
Okay.
That's the issue. We'll get there. They also cast Theo Rossi as Shades, another villain, which is very exciting.
Cool.
And we're officially, it was assumed, but Rosario Dawson's officially coming back.
Yep.
Which is awesome.
Which is good because her character, Claire Temple, did have a history with Luke Cage in the
Yeah.
comics. So as soon as she was cast in Daredevil, people were like, oh, is she going to be in Luke Cage? And yes, she is.
I hope she's like the Clark Gregg of the TV side, like the Netflix, where she's just like, hey, I'm here for a little bit. I'm really
Yeah.
charming. I'm going to go over there.
I know all the street level heroes, and let's make the Defenders.
Yeah,
Great.
like I hope that she's just like recruiting people, Nick Fury-esque. So I'm really excited about that.
Cool.
And then also in Netflix news, this is my favorite piece of Netflix news because we have the same haircut now. John Bernthal tweeted this amazing photo.
I like that that apparently that's the connection.
That's
you
why
have.
I'm excited.
You've got a haircut.
It wasn't. This is
and
for
that was his
work.
plug
This
for his
is for
haircut.
work, but this is also for his work. This amazing photo
Yeah.
of that is the
That
Punisher,
looks
man.
awesome.
That's so.
That's
intense.
terrifying. It's so intense. Holy crap.
So many guns.
Holy crap.
Like
Yeah.
one of my favorite standalone trades is Punisher kills the Marvel U. So good, and it signified like how awesome he can be. Like
Yeah.
he knows everybody's weaknesses. He gets hired by a bunch of civilians that have all been accidentally hurt.
Sure.
And they all banded together and brought together a bunch of money. And we're like, here's a bunch of money. Can you go kill all the superheroes? Because we're really
Yeah.
angry because I got burned on the face by like the torch or like a
Right.
building fell and
Wow.
hit me from the. It's really it's one of those like
Yeah.
oh you kind of feel
get
for these
it.
people sort of
Sure.
and then he goes through and just kills everybody.
He's such a great character, played by such a great actor.
Yeah.
Like there's so much depth in both.
Yeah. Yep. I want some crossover with this too. I want some, this is great. He's like they mentioned him in Civil War in the comic book. It's same guy, different war, comparing him to Captain America.
Yeah.
And then Cap's like, no, that's not the case.
Like because they try to recruit him.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just a great sort of messed up. And if you guys haven't read Secret Wars, the stuff that's happening right now, issue number 1 is great because the world is ending. And when the world ends, Wilson Fisk, Kingpin, just sends out an email to every villain he has, and he's like, listen, if the world's really ending, let's meet up, drinks are on me, let's hang out at a bar, let's shoot and they do that, and then Punisher shows up and he's like, hey, what am I gonna do with all these bullets?
Yeah.
The world's ending. They say that you can't take stuff with you. What am I gonna do with all these bullets? And then you're just like, he kills everybody. It's awesome.
Yeah. There's a lot of those moments in Secret Wars that just validate so much like pent up. Like, why hasn't this ever happened yet?
It's so great.
Yeah, I'm so excited for Punisher. I think it's gonna make. I mean, Daredevil season 1 was maybe my favorite property. This is shaping up. I mean, that's saying a lot too. I know. This a Marvel movie
I loved those stuff with Fisk and how I cared about the Kingpin. The episode with the painting.
Messed up. His episode was a turning point for me in that show where I went, what
is this show?
Because I've never cared about King. It's never been a situation.
Sure.
I've always known him peripheral through Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's more of a Spider-Man guy to me.
And so good.
While we've been talking, a bunch of people are telling us in the live thread that Mahershala Ali, I'm not sure how to say that, was just cast as Cottonmouth on Luke Cage.
Cool. I was gonna. I've been wondering about Cottonmouth.
So that's
good.
Quite the array of villains on a show.
That's awesome.
I mean, with 13 hours, you can do a lot more than you could in a movie.
Yep.
So that's really exciting.
I think. Which one's Cottonmouth? Was Cottonmouth the one? I'm thinking of the one with like blades or something, like knives or blades, who was like his friend, who they both were about to get caught. But then only Luke gets caught and then gets
I know you're
taken
talking
to jail.
about.
Carl
Yeah.
Lucas, and then he comes back later. I forgot who Cottonmouth was. If he was a friend of Luke before, I think he was. Oh no, is he just? No, yeah, he's on the Serpent Society.
Yeah, isn't he?
Serpent Squad. Cool.
Yeah, I thought he was a cat villain,
see
right?
that.
Dude, right? I want to see this guy.
Yeah, Cottonmouth. Yeah.
This purple suit.
Yeah.
That looks awesome.
We're not going to see that
We're
at
not
all.
gonna see a purple suit.
I know.
No way.
Hey, we got
I know,
a kind
but I
of
want
purple
this.
suit.
But you know what I bet's gonna happen
Cat
is
2, we had a kind of purple suit.
He's gonna wear a jacket that's
That's
kind of
purple. Yeah. I love whenever they do
A
that.
little flavor pop, and I love that, man. So that just happened.
That was a great thing about Daredevil. Like the suit doesn't come in until the final episode.
And the new suit looks amazing. The season 2 suit, have you seen it?
I have not.
It looks fantastic.
Good.
It looks more like what I wanted, but it makes sense. It needs to evolve. I'm happy.
Yeah.
It looks like the Secret Wars suit from when Gabriel Delato was painting them.
Secret War. Yeah.
Secret War.
That was so good.
It's what Secret Wars.
It goes Secret War, Secret Wars 2, Secret War,
Secret
Secret
Wars.
Warriors, Secret Wars.
Marvel. I got words that I can't say on a rated
because it is
TV show.
very
And then DC Comics has Crisis,
Crisis, Infinity Crisis,
Final Crisis, Next Crisis.
Crisis Zero.
That's another conversation for TV versus Marvel. Before we get to the Kevin Feige stuff, Agent Carter has begun filming. We got our first photo. She's describing it as battle wounds. This photo gives us very little, except for a beautiful neck.
Beautiful collarbone.
That's a beautiful collarbone.
Thank you,
That gives
Haley.
me plenty.
Great.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I think the Dub Smash War will be the thing that gets me into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because it's for charity, it's endearing, it's adorable.
So much fun.
I'm so excited.
And man, I am really excited. And me and Coy have discussed like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and how he doesn't watch it.
I will watch it before
but
season 3.
I'm halfway through season 2, but I've heard it's way better.
So much better.
I know.
Like the first half of season 1 was rough.
Yep.
They were getting off their feet, and nothing
Winter
had really
Soldier
happened. And then Winter
like,
Soldier
ooh.
happened, and just everything goes bananas. And from there on,
and since
all the
episode
Inhuman
1 of
stuff,
season 2,
like,
it's
so
much better.
great.
Since episode 1 of season 2, it's much better. They improved so much.
Yes.
And season 3 looks to be really good with Secret Warriors as the sort of tagline. But Agent Carter season 1 was super fun. Super fun.
I
really
missed
dug it.
Agent Carter, and I'm gonna have to catch up
It's
whenever
good.
it comes out on Netflix.
It's good.
I will be watching it. I'm excited.
Good retro stuff.
It's all
I'm
coming
just
together.
bummed that season 2 is going to be in LA and not still like in Brooklyn. Like I want it to be in old timey New York. They did such a good job of recreating that.
Yeah.
I was very impressed. So
Well,
I'm
now
like,
we can
why?
recreate new awesome stuff.
I know. Old timey Los Angeles is going to feel like Roger Rabbit.
It's gonna, that's not a bad thing, man. I'm okay
What was
with
that game? The game that came out a few years ago where you were the detective, L.A. Noire.
Yes.
Yes.
So now we've reached the end of the show-ish.
Okay.
Kevin Feige is no longer having to report to, I think his name is, it's Ike something, I can't pronounce his last
Perlmutter?
name. Perlmutter.
I think.
Which has been rumored to be the biggest issue with underpaying actors, underfunding films, because he likes to, this guy's story, Ike Perlmutter, was like living on the street and then got enough money to like get a little bit of a job and then started buying stocks and then became like a thousandaire, then a millionaire, and now runs a studio. Like this guy could be like a Gatsby movie.
That's nuts.
But because
Does
of
the
that,
rights to this guy's life?
yeah, seriously, can we make his dad's movie? Yeah, he does.
He has
owns
his
the
own rights. Yeah.
But this guy, because of that, has been very stingy, rumors are, with the Marvel stuff. So we've heard, like, I know that Marvel is very particular with their actors' contracts. They're very particular with their budgets. They're particular particular where their money goes, and he's also rumored to be the reason we've had less female superheroes. So, with Feige, who's been outspoken,
that's a weird like
legacy. Yeah,
well,
you're the guy who did this.
Hey, you did a good job getting where you are, and then you got there and were kind of mean.
And you were like, you know what? I got here.
PopcornTalk Network.
What?
Are we being cued on?
I know.
And let's start the show.
So I think it's interesting because we also, in that, have a division between TV and film, because Ike is still running TV stuff, which is very similar to the DC world, which is where we've had some issues with continuity. So
now, isn't Jeff Loeb running? Isn't he head of? It's fine.
we got a sorry.
Sorry, no, that's great.
Isn't Jeff Loeb like head of Marvel Television or creatively? I don't know.
He's creatively involved, but I mean, you still have somebody give the money. Like someone's writing the checks.
Sure.
So now Kevin Feige's reporting directly to Disney now,
Alan
which
Horn.
is amazing potentially. So I'm really curious how this changes everything. Like this could really make.
I mean, the idea that it changes everything seems like a big step. I mean, yes, it changes things for sure, but I mean, they're already on a trajectory for the next 10 years. Like, so changing everything.
Hey, listen, man, we thought that same thing, and then they got the rights to Spider-Man, and then they changed.
Right.
They squeezed him in there. They pushed stuff back.
And
so stuff's not
we're
set
only
in stone.
outlined through Phase 3. Phase 4 on could be like A-Force.
I'm not saying
amazes me that we have an outline for movies that are not happening for like 10 years. Like, I'm just...
like
and
5.
we're all picking at crumbs on those movies for 10 years.
Yeah,
like, the show is about, like, please tell me.
So I think I'm agreeing with you, Coy. I don't think they're going to necessarily like move up Captain Marvel or Black Panther to be like, now we have a female superhero and a black superhero, like because that's already the trajectory. But I do think that Phase 4 could be very different from what's happening.
Yeah, and I'm super stoked to see more of everything. I mean, because at this point it's been a little saturated. And
Feige's been very clear in his wanting to change things and been very vocal about things that we've been like, wait, if you're saying this, why isn't it happening? Now it's like, yeah, because anytime that Kevin Feige would get asked
gives validation
about
to all of his
this stuff,
statements.
anytime, it like why hasn't there been a female
He had to talk around like his bosses,
and he's good at it. He's really good at like listening to what fans want and what they're asking for, and the same questions they keep asking.
Right.
And he kind of like doesn't necessarily spin it, but he takes it. And he's like, well, this is kind of what we're working on. We want to make sure to introduce Captain Marvel in a good way. We want to make sure,
absolutely.
And then like spits it back out. And so you walk away and you're like, I felt good. Well, he didn't really
answer that. What's interesting is there's no villain in this situation, because like I get where this Ike guy's coming from. Because
Ike's the villain.
His name is Ike Perlmutter. That's a villain name. But at the same time, he rose up through nothing. So I pinch pennies too. Like it makes sense.
I mean, and here's the deal. Like anytime I have a discussion when it comes to like, oh, well, why aren't they doing this creatively? Or, when it comes to the actors or story or something like that, it's always like, guys, producers are businessmen.
Right, that's the thing.
That's literally what they are.
But that's why I'm curious.
Only money.
We've
so like,
lost the
when he
businessman
says, oh, this makes money, I'm going to keep doing this.
Right.
I don't have anything that shows, and now we are seeing things that show. It's like, hey, no, we can point over to, Agent Carter and be like, this made money, like, or this and this.
Well,
and
during
like,
the Sony leak, there was an email from Ike saying, no, female movies don't work. See Elektra, Catwoman. And he had a list that was very reasonable.
1987. No, it was not.
Well, it was
unreasonable.
It was reasonable from a business standpoint, unreasonable from a fan comic standpoint.
It was unreasonable from a business standpoint because those are like 20, 30-year-old movies.
Yeah.
It's
unreasonable.
You're right. Unreasonable.
Yes.
I rescind my comment.
It's reasonable
You're
for
right.
an idiot sexist guy. Totally reasonable.
Yes.
Good
it makes
proof.
good. Yeah.
Good proof.
It's like
sure.
it's like cherry picking. Oh, I can absolutely go through and find things.
trying to not make
I
this
can
man
find a lot. You know what? Here's the deal. I'm going to find a lot of movies where white male actors don't make any money.
They don't work.
Oh, look! I've got so many.
Didn't make any money.
Didn't make any money.
Julie didn't make any money.
None of these people.
Superheroes don't work. Guys steal. It bombed. Did the box office. Not going to work.
Blade 3 was very
stupid.
bad.
Blade Trinity. Stupid.
Touche. It was a bad email.
Here's the
I was trying to be nice to the guy.
Not this
Don't.
Perlmutter.
This guy's name. Don't be nice. He's fine. He's set.
Yeah, he's not watching us right now. That's for sure.
But
he's got somebody else maybe watching us because he can do that. He can pay somebody else.
Here's the more interesting thing too: is apparently that the Marvel Creative Committee was disbanded.
Right.
The Marvel Creative Committee, which is something that was comprised of Marvel Comics and Marvel Entertainment, like heads of creative, whatever, guys like Brian Michael Bendis.
Right.
Back in the day, it used to be Mark Millar. Then he got hired by Fox to basically do the same thing and then fail with Fantastic Four. What happened, Mark? Well, you were supposed to help that out.
Where were you, man?
Where were you, dude? You wrote the comic they based it on. What happened?
Yeah, 4 is strong. His 4 book, Mark Millar's with Steve McNiven art, like that's if you've done that as a movie.
I don't think that was that him. No, but he did Ultimate Fantastic Four with Bendis that they kind of based. Anyway, the point is this creative committee was something. Yeah, it was awesome. Was something that Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios would then go to, and they would give story notes and stuff. And apparently, this committee, it's good and bad. This committee was the committee that came up with, hey, at the end of Iron Man, there should be a Nick Fury cameo with Samuel L. Jackson.
Right.
So great.
And Bendis wrote it.
And great. Right. And then, but this committee was also apparently the reason that, with their notes, Edgar Wright left Ant-Man.
Right.
So with that
Specifically
happening,
that committee,
so it's like, so maybe Kevin Feige wanted to disband that, or they went through the process of disbanding that because he doesn't want that to continue to happen.
Right.
You know, because people, like, directors are choking under the storytelling that is the Marvel machine.
And we just lost the Black Panther director who was in talks. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. Ava DuVernay.
Yeah.
She was like, no, creative.
Yep.
Sorry. So I really hope that Kevin Feige, since he's been creative and he's not perceived as a producer in that sense, I really hope we get way more female-led films because Hunger Games, guys, like, there's so many like amazing,
right?
Like, there's so
there was like a recent article about like the number one like consumer of video games now is females 20 to 30.
Yeah, like 51% of gamers are now adult women.
Right.
But they also use like non-traditional gaming is what they call, so like mobile games and stuff. But that's still legit. That's
you're still gaming.
Thing.
That's awesome,
dude. The Clash of Clans makes a lot of money.
Exactly.
And like more women are reading comics, and we cast like the most gorgeous men to play our superheroes. Obviously, that appeals to a demographic that's seeing it.
Oh yeah, it does. Have you guys never been on Tumblr? Captain America is very popular. Tumblr loves Captain America and Bucky and everybody involved.
Iron Man, Bruce Banner. There's a strong bond there.
I think that hopefully this moves in the direction that like Warner Brothers, DC Comics has been promising by saying each one of their movies is going to be like, we're going to focus on the director. They really, I think, threw Marvel under the bus with that comment. Like they're really trying to like poke at Marvel to be like, our movies are director based.
Right.
We don't know if that has worked yet because we've only had Zack Snyder.
Right. They've only had the one,
and we don't know if their sort of like cohesive storytelling, world will fall apart.
But Ben Affleck's Batman, man, I'm more excited for that than most things.
For sure. Like Suicide Squad looks great, but I'm saying like, will it serve that sort of like that thing that Marvel Studios is really good at?
Right.
We don't know yet. We haven't seen it. So if this just means that Marvel now has a little bit more freedom to let directors do what they want to do, let guys like Joss Whedon do what they want to do on Age of Ultron, or Edgar Wright, or whoever they have
like
coming
these guys,
up.
I mean, here's the deal: you hire a director based on their body of work, and you trust that they're good at their job.
That's why you
let
hire
them do their job. That's what they're there for.
Absolutely.
I know.
Like you hire good actors to be the actors. You hire good writers to be the writers. Like
you want a
that's
vision.
what this guy, does. So let them do what they do.
Good.
I think Captain Marvel is going to be a great way to see how Kevin Feige moves forward.
Yeah.
I think we need Emily Blunt as Captain Marvel. That's my personal pick, and I think it could be the thing that makes people that are like, women don't work in superhero movies, just finally like shut them up. Like,
no,
it'll
be a non-issue.
A lot of people keep talking about Squirrel Girl.
I would love Phase 4
and I'm
Squirrel
like,
Girl.
yes, that would be
Ant-Man was a straight up comedy. We could have a Squirrel Girl.
I loved Ant-Man.
Yeah.
First of all,
I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy was great with comedy. Like you start doing that
if
stuff.
If there's a way we could find room for Great Lakes Avengers, including Squirrel Girl.
Yeah.
I don't know if they deserve a movie per se, but like if they are a big chunk of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 3 where like they go to the Great Lakes and there's guys that are like, we're the Avengers, like awesome, awesome, do that, so good.
Man, Janine Garofalo 10 years ago as Squirrel Girl.
Oh, that'd be
Janine
great.
Garofalo 10 years ago would have been
There's so many great Squirrel Girls right now. Just ask the internet and they will franchise it perfectly.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
that was
cool.
just the first first pop.
For sure.
I think it's got a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Kevin Feige to be running things more directly to Disney.
I trust him too.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good face to run everything. So
hopefully it's good.
That's our big news. I'm excited. We don't know much what's going to change. I don't think we'll see changes in the next few years because everything's already rolling. But
I mean, I think it'll be little changes. Like we'll see some, like some things like with Spider-Man, like some things will be pushed maybe around a little bit, and maybe we'll drop some characters in because I mean they haven't started filming everything.
Black Panther,
hopefully,
or Doctor Strange.
Hopefully, we don't lose that great movie TV crossover potential just because Ike's being a nut. Hopefully, we don't lose that.
That's my only concern of the whole thing.
I hope so. It's like that's. And where are you in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now?
I'm halfway through season 2.
Okay, then I don't want to spoil
which is
anything
good.
for you.
And I'll catch up. And I'm very much
because
looking forward to season 3.
There's some definite like TV film crossover.
Oh, for sure. They're setting up Inhumans. Like
okay, good. That's I wasn't sure what.
No,
okay, good.
He's been on the internet.
I was like, I thought you had, but I just didn't want to.
I know there's powers now. Yeah.
And it's fun. It's cool. It's great.
There's a lot of potential at Marvel TV film crossover. I hope that isn't the one thing that keeps us from it. I think it's a good move on everyone's part. I think Disney wants more power, and what a better way to do it.
And here's the thing. I think, Pupper Holtz, whatever his name is.
Pepper Potts?
Yeah. Pupper Holtz.
Ike Nutterbutter?
Ike Nutterbutter. I think once again, we're talking about money.
Yeah.
I think he's not going to look at a situation where he can make crossover and be like, "Oh, I'm mad because of this."
Yeah.
No, the dollar bill is the dollar bill is the final line with this guy, and I think he's going to go, "Okay, you know what? Sure, I'll give you one of my characters. You give me one of your characters, and we'll both make a lot of money."
I can't wait for Captain Marvel to make $500 million and just be like, and here it is, and then we get into a whole new, because we're limiting ourselves so much.
Dude. It'll make 700.
It'll make a lot of money, and we're limiting ourselves so much by having this weird bias that is unfounded in archaic thought, like you said 30 years ago. So I'm hoping this is the change. That's my thesis on it.
It's going to be great. The more that Marvel gives us less to complain about, the better. And it's just going to get better and better as the years go by.
We'll leave that to Fantastic Four. We'll complain about that as a separate thing.
It's getting harder and harder to complain about stuff.
Because Deadpool's happening. Fox. So I can't even be mad at Fox. I can't even be mad at Fox. Because Deadpool and X-Men are outweighing.
I'm still mad at Fox. I'm still mad.
I mean, I'll always be a little bit. Well, I mean, I'm mad at Fox for so many reasons. I mean, let's go all the way back to brown coats. All right, let's just do it. All right, I'm always going to be mad at you that I have one season of Amazing Show, and whatever, that's fine. You can't.
But they can give you Deadpool, and
it looks glorious, and everything I've seen, the teaser trailer, the
red band trailer, the green band trailer,
teaser to the teaser.
Yeah, the teaser to the teaser, the interview with what's his face, Slater.
The post green band trailer mentioning the red band trailer was funnier than most trailers. I'm so excited, obviously. So I want to give some shout outs to our iTunes folk. I want to shout out to WeHouse by _ clever name, nice. Papa Baggins 3446, Louis R826. You gave us a very good review, but then I think accidentally gave us 1 star. I'm assuming you are happy with us. A lot of exclamation points, a lot of positivity.
These guys are great.
The 1 star throws me.
That's it. He doesn't normally give stars.
Listen to it every day.
I think it's
like
maybe he thinks it's like the number 1.
Yeah, we're number 1.
We're number 1.
Guys,
the less stars, the better, like golf.
You guys get the star.
So I appreciate the star, and then by Marvel Movie News fan, this guy signed up, I assume, to give us this review. Thank you, sir. Is 21, Trey 4 Tide, and Super Balls 469. You guys are all awesome. You're picking up comics because of stuff we've said.
Cool.
You're reading more, and that's the best thing for me is we're actually making comic fans. We're breeding them.
Go get The Amazing Spider-Man by J. Michael Straczynski, Ultimate Collection Volume 1. You're set. And then get the other 4 after that.
So good.
I think we'll end the show with recommending comics because we can rant on that for a bit. I want to shout out a gentleman wrote on our YouTube. His name was Todd Kaplan, and he said that he is stuck in his house all the time. He's disabled, and we help his week go by better. And Todd, man, I want to specifically that made my whole week, dude.
Yeah, it really did.
Thanks.
100 people can be mad at me, and the one dude.
Dude, that's
seriously,
that's great.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Great, Todd. Thanks, Todd.
Thanks, Todd. So while you guys, what are your comics you're reading right now? What do you recommend to people? Old or new?
Well, I just finished, and sorry, it's taken me forever, but I just finished Why the Last Man.
Oh, shit. Dude.
Nothing like spending a Friday night crying in my bed, but, that's what I do. Typical Friday.
Yeah, except now you have a good reason to. The ending was so good.
It was so good. That ending was phenomenal. And I'd already read the first 6 trades, and so I a friend of mine, buddy of mine, Chad, thank you, Chad, if you're watching.
Hi, Chad.
Bought me the last couple of trades at Comic-Con this year because I had just had surgery, so I couldn't make it down. And it was so good. So good. Yeah. I knew it would be, but it was just
it's great. And one of my favorite comics to recommend to new comic readers, and also women, female comic book readers, women that are interested in reading comics. I'm like, here, check this one out. All the Men in the World Die. And they're like, what? I'm like, just read it.
Start with that.
It's so good, except for one and his pet monkey. It's amazing.
You'll love him.
One of my favorite endings, maybe my favorite ending in all of fiction that I've ever experienced is Why the Last Man.
Well, and I love on all of the trades is the quote from Stephen King saying this is the best trade I've ever read.
Yeah.
And it's just I love it. You guys got that from Stephen King.
Wow.
That's
that is a good endorsement.
That's great. Crap, what am I reading right now? Well, I just finished reading some really good Fantastic Four comics, and I think on my YouTube show that I do with my buddies, Superhero News, which you can just look up on YouTube, I think we're going to be putting out that episode real soon, which is, if you liked it, read it. And we just recommend really good Fantastic Four comics. We've got the Ultimate Fantastic Four stuff.
Oh, yeah.
The first 2 trades, at least. It's Doctor Doom, the Origin and Doctor Doom.
Dude, that Doctor Doom, I love that Doctor Doom.
I really,
and whenever
really love that too.
And then that's the numbers change in that, right?
No.
Was that
that
was... Okay, there was another.
The regular Fantastic Four, the numbers changed.
Yeah, that was a good time period too.
And we recommend
Ringo, right?
the Mark Waid Ringo
Ringo,
run,
I love that
which
art,
is
dude.
so good.
He's got beautiful,
that stuff
beautiful
like, and I have a buddy who's on the show with me. My buddy Augustine. He loves Doctor Doom.
Mm-hmm.
He's never read this specific run, and I handed it to him, and it's where Doctor Doom does something so messed up that he was just like, "Whoa, man, this is I don't know, this is dark." Do you know what I'm talking? Do you remember what I'm talking about? Where he sacrifices something so, like, he does something to become the most powerful in magic.
Yes.
Because up to this point, he's like a Tony Stark guy.
Yeah.
He's like technologically awesome, but he dabbled
And
in
he
magic.
looks so cool in that new.
Dude,
once he has the magic.
That armor that he's wearing, I don't want to tell you what it's made of
it's so
because
good.
it's Gnarls Barkley, but it's so good.
And we're talking about the Crazy song, by the way.
Yeah, we're talking about
not
Crazy.
one of his other songs.
Right, we're talking to F you because Dr. Doom is driving around town with the girl that read I don't know, but it's great. So I've been reading that.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Top 3, everyone, like many tweets. Top 3 Secret Wars tie-ins. We've talked before, but your overall top 3. I know you're not there yet.
Tie-ins for Secret Wars.
Yeah, the Secret Wars tie-ins.
Yeah, I unfortunately a few years back, my comic book guy back in Oklahoma, bless his heart, went out of business, and so once that happened, like it knifed through my heart.
It's
and I
hard
just
to
didn't.
keep up.
I've not found another place to get another pull list, and so I'm behind by a bit.
I'm reading the current main series right now, and I've only picked up a few things here and there for the tie-ins, like first issues. I really liked Old Man Logan.
Yeah.
I really liked A-Force, and then I really liked Infinity Gauntlet, even though that had like another Thanos running around in the thing. And then I stopped because I'm like, I want to wait till the series is done,
all.
and then I'm gonna just read them all because like to keep track of it, because there's so much that I'm just gonna do it sort of like tie-in by tie-in and read that little complete story kind of thing. But I heard those are really good, and among other things, I heard Thor's was great. I heard World War Hulk was great. A bunch of stuff.
I personally, I've said it before, but the title that surprised, I'm really enjoying every tie-in, honestly, and I'm reading all of them. I'm reading every single tie-in, which is exhausting but awesome. The one that surprised me most, 1872, because I wasn't that big on 1602, but 1872 is hilarious.
Yeah.
If you want to read the one that's probably the most important for what's going on, I don't know. They're all
Thor's. I don't know.
They're all pretty tangential. You're pretty much safe to not have to read them, which is a very rare thing in comics. Usually they're like, "What's going on?" You have to read every title. I'm really enjoying 1872 and Ultimate End because I'm an Ultimates guy. To see it end is very important to me. It's not. It's good. It's not great, but Bagley's doing the art, so I'm sold. And then what would my last one be? I mean, I just finished Planet Hulk because.
Did you read Spider-Man: Renew Your Vows?
Underwhelmed so far.
That? I know. That's
right?
tough.
That's my
tough.
one that I'm like.
Again, we're coming from Spider-Man being married to Mary Jane, and when they're doing that again, I'm like, this rings false. It's not. It's not the same.
It's not right. I know. And it's close. And
there are little moments. I'm like, okay.
I get excited, then I get hurt.
Yeah. Sorry.
So tweet us. I'll be more articulate online. I can send stuff. I want to shout out very quickly. I've never hosted, so I want to shout out to Larry's Comics when we're talking comics back home. I shopped at Larry's Comics for 12 years, and then when I moved, I got them shipped out here, and I only recently stopped because of Secret War, because I didn't know how to order them, because I'd be like, what's coming out? Give me all of them. So, Larry, you're awesome. And then a friend of mine that I worked with at a movie theater forever is opening a comic store in 2 weeks.
That's my dream.
So, literally, it's in the East Coast. I'm not sure what town it's going to be in.
What's the name? Oh, you don't know what town it is?
No, I know it's going to be.
Plug that.
Chamber of Comics Inc. is the name of the place.
Cool.
It's somewhere in
Chamber of Comics. That's
great. Right? And it's somewhere in Massachusetts because I'm from Mass.
It's a punny name. It has to be punny.
Because you got to
stick. If you're a comic,
The Chamber of Comics.
Right?
That's so good.
So it's a friend of mine. I'm sorry to use airtime to plug, but man, I'm excited for you, dude. Like, you're opening a comic store.
Dude. Hey,
everyone's dream at this table.
Seriously.
Yeah, that's great.
And then lastly, someone on Twitter sent me this earlier in the week, and I thought it was really interesting. I wanted to close talking about it. He was saying that, do we think it's a coincidence that Daredevil finishes airing right before Civil War starts? What if Punisher unmasks him? Ian Charlie O had that to say. I think it's an interesting idea to tie in secret identities because he's one of the few that has one.
But here's the thing, and I mean, because we've talked about this a lot, like how Civil War in the comics, it was all about that.
But the movie doesn't have
it was all about secret identities. I don't know that the movie's going to touch on that hardly at all because we can't.
I agree.
So I don't know if that's even. Like, if that's a thing.
The other thing, too, is I didn't see Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the episode that aired before Age of Ultron came out. But apparently that episode explained something that right at the beginning of Age of Ultron, like how they found Baron Strucker's base and, like, went to go get, like, what did they explain?
And there's the stuff about, the helicarrier, like, stuff.
Oh, really? So like, all that backstory. Like, I watched Age of Ultron and
it was almost a little confusing because I had already seen the movie and I was catching up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I was like, wait, what? Because I already knew what had happened.
movie's
so it was like,
happening?
it was, and but they're doing a pretty good job, especially as tough as it is to put all that stuff together.
I'm saying I heard that it was beneficial for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. viewers. Like, it was cool for them because a movie sort of lined up.
Right.
But for movie fans, they didn't necessarily need to watch it.
detract.
Which is how it should be.
It was a small piece of information that you didn't need to know.
I think we're going to go see Captain America: Civil War. Daredevil's not going to be in it. There's going to be no mention. But if the end of Daredevil syncs up with that, maybe,
Absolutely.
Right.
maybe we'll
and
see
that'd be a
some of
great way
that.
to handle it. I just want to give this guy credit. It was a cool idea. I don't know if it's gonna be the case, but I think it's a great idea, and I love little fan fiction concepts.
Dude, I love how, like, I'm such a huge Marvel fan, and I feel like I've read everything in the world, and yet sometimes people will tweet me something, and I'll be like, oh my god.
And it opens up these like parallel mind. Yeah,
or
you're
people
like,
will find something like, remember when they mentioned Morales in Daredevil season 1? I'm like, what? No, wait, what? That's Miles Morales' parents? Oh, like people do that stuff all
it's
the time.
amazing to have those little moments, and that's why I love this community. Like, I love you guys that are watching. I love you guys that are here.
This is it's so nice to be a part of a bunch of people that like. Whenever we started talking Spider-Man, I was just like, in my brain, you understand me.
I just remember high school being like, I like comics. I'll sit and talk to my friends about sports because I'm from Boston. And now it's like comics, and this is the sports out here. Like, comics are the Tom Brady relevance. Tom Brady, not guilty. I'm very excited about the fact.
Guilty. He was just pardoned.
Tomato. So I think it's really important that everyone, man, be friends with your comic fans and tweet at us. It's a community. It's amazing. It's beautiful.
It's great.
Keep making stuff, guys. I want to write a Spider-Man comic. My buddy's opening a comic store. Let's all do cool stuff.
Dude, I mean, all the fan-made stuff that's coming out nowadays, the fact that it's tricking me, we were just talking about the fact that, like, that
Civil War trailer that was leaked.
Y'all see that Boba Fett footage?
Oh, yeah.
Tricked me. I'm like, this is good.
I'm gonna see this movie.
Good.
I thought it was from this Star Wars, and then whenever the title came out, I was like, oh,
you dummy. It's good.
It's great.
It looks great.
Yeah.
It looks fantastic.
So keep making stuff, guys. It can't hurt. Always create something cool. That's my big whole thing.
Cool.
I thought of my favorite Secret Wars title, Civil War. Civil War 2 is incredible.
Nice.
So if you're going to read any one, Civil War, it is the only one I feel like ties into the first Civil War beautifully, but also creates a separate universe, and it's brilliantly written. The art's gorgeous. Civil War.
Dude, and the tie-ins, like the news reporter one is a great...
Back from Civil War, the event? Yeah, Frontline.
Frontline's awesome.
Frontline's so good. For a non comic superhero book, it was great. And then
we talked about that last time you were on.
All the Spider-Man stuff. I mean, that was so good.
Read more Spider-Man.
All right, calm down.
All right.
No, I'm kidding.
Sorry,
so that's it for our show, guys. It was awesome hosting. You guys are amazing. Keep reading comics. Keep tweeting at us. Keep watching movies of all kinds. Support your local cinema. I've been Coy Jandreau at CoyJandreau.
I've been at Axe4Food, ACTS, the number 4, the word food.
Do people think it's Axe, like Axe body spray?
I get lots of stuff. Yeah. I have to spell it out.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm Hector, at Hector is funny.
I want someone to be like Axe4Food on that note. It's been a pleasure, guys. We'll see you next week.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network. The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.